Hi, I'm with Sarah Jones, and I'm with Julie Hirsch and her daughter Nicolette Hirsch, also referred to as Dolphin, and it's July 19th.
Dolphin, I'm back now.
And we're talking about how Julie learned to talk. And I'm going to put the camera on pause, so whenever she's ready, we're going to talk some more.
Dolphin should be in bed already, I think, this be so.
She's turning into a little night owl. Do you need to put her to sleep, or do you want me to give you some space for that, or?
No, she'll come out when she's. I have these fears because I've had I have problems with CPS before because they didn't know how good of a mom I'm.
Oh.
Yeah, you know.
So you're worried if she would go to bed too late?
Yeah, like, if I would be like a bad mom if I let her stay up till like 1, or or not feed her 3 times a day, things like that. I mean, but I do all of this, so.
My daughter used to stay up late because I would be away, and then it would be the only way I could spend time with her if she stayed up late.
Yeah, sometimes she just can't sleep sometimes. I can't sleep sometimes, so
Well, do you want to talk some more about talking?
Sure, I forgot where I was.
I can tell you. We were talking about how you had begun to look at people's mouths, and you were practicing in the mirror and watching your sister talk in the mirror, and that sometimes you could begin to do mouth movements, or you could make a sound like a squeal, but if you were trying to actually say out loud a word, it would sound, you said, like a train wreck.
Yeah, because it would not come out.
So you could either make a squealing sound or something like that, or you could move your mouth silently, but they couldn't go together.
Yeah, for a very long time.
When you say a very long time, does that mean like a year or 5 days, or, I mean,
it was
approximately?
Like a year from when I first spoke, that when I was 9, because I had this other thing happen where if I didn't think about it, I could say it. So I would repeat everything other people would say, because the more I thought about what I wanted to say, somehow it just stayed stuck. Like, that would get stuck. And I could sing some little, like, Tweedle-dee, 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 or like a song. I could do like a song, and then I would blurt out, like if somebody said something, it would blurt. I could blurt something out. It would fall out almost the same or close to it, and I was stuck on it. And then I just liked the sound of it, and it was like speech. I mean, I liked the sounds coming out of my mouth, and it would be like, you know, when you're hand picking, once you get started, you can't stop. So I acquired speech at 9, but it wasn't real communication.
More like stimming verbally in a way.
But I liked it anyhow because it was coming from me, and I was stuck on it, and I liked the sound of it, and it was from me. It still was words.
And what was your family's reaction?
Well, Because they were disappointed because at first it seemed like I was actually talking, and then it wasn't talking. I was just talking nonsense. So it was like everybody thought I was retarded, and then I started talking, and it seemed to prove it. You know, because it didn't make sense, and then they couldn't make me stop. It, you know, I'll say things that just repeat things from TV all the time, and and it would just not stop. It drove them, and it's funny because I think it drove them like crazy, and because I remember my mom saying is like, oh, well, I should be careful what I wish for, because I couldn't wait for her to say anything. Now I wish she'd shut up.
Oh.
So it was, then this was, but I still had my obsession, but I didn't want to stop that because it took that long to look how many lines on the wall. I still get dizzy, and I still even haven't figured out how many there is. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah.
So mom was mixed feelings because you were talking, but it was nonsense.
Yeah, but I didn't care. I guess I didn't give it much. I mean, I know she complained, and I understood she. I guess.
So when you were trying to talk intentionally, that's when it would get all scrambled up.
Yes.
Yeah.
But so I was so happy, even though I had that echolalia for a long time, and people thought it was nonsense and silly. I hung on to it anyhow. I like the sound of it. Mm-hmm. I like I would just go over and over and I just like the sound coming out of my mouth, because it's like that's a word I wanted to use somewhere else in my head, but I couldn't get it out then. It almost made it worth it to come out then. You know?
Yeah.
Like the word one time I was like going over and under, and I was over and under, and it was just like one time I have a sentence in my head of like I want to go over there, and I can't say I want to go over there. So one time I'm just stuck on over and under because I could only say it in that phrase. Mm-hmm. And it was some satisfaction for me. I mean, I felt like it was my way of. I had this thing of imitating my environment. I still have this. And I think that even if it drove people crazy, that I don't think I would have I'm here now unless I had this obsession with imitation. You know what I mean? If I didn't imitate, or
that was the starting point.
Yes, it was that obsession thing. Like
it could be a gift or a burden. And
it's a burden for other people. It wasn't for me.
Yeah, it was a gift for you. Yeah, one person's treasure is another person's trash.
Because I had a goal almost. I felt like, but see, for me, I didn't know if I would ever get to that point. So you become so ecstatic that you got there that you don't let go of it, you know? Mm-hmm. I mean, think about it. You see how the dolphin is puffing in front of the mirror all this time? She is in the bathroom staring at herself in the mirror, puffing, and she's been puffing for hours. I mean, this is what she's doing. Do you think that if she could finally get some words to string together, that she would just leave it alone at that? Of course, she would just, if she finally got like 3 words together, I'll be hearing it till next week. So that's how when when it's that much of a struggle to get there, you really don't care if everybody don't care, they're like, shut up, or that. And then you really paying attention to what you think.
So you were saying that you were doing things with moving your lips and trying to make a sound.
Yes.
And then, but now you're mentioning with Nicolette, the puffing. Were you doing that too?
Yes.
And what can you show us how the puffing would look? Yeah, you were doing that before, actually. And why were you doing? What was your thinking for why to do that?
I was trying to get words out.
And so you were making sure the air went out, because that would be where the words would go.
Yeah, because you're. You know how you like.
You can't inhale and talk. It won't go out.
Well, because you're trying to figure out how to do it. For example, if you're right-handed, and all of a sudden you just want to try to see how you already know how to write your name, but you grab your left hand and you're not left-handed, and then you even in your head you feel like it could be something easy to do, but how well would you write your name in reality? So that's
very hard.
Exactly.
Even though it's very easy with your right hand, it's very hard with your left hand.
Yeah, and that's how I feel like how it was with me. Yeah. Yeah, this, exactly. So trying to talk was like a right-handed person trying to write left-handed. But there's one thing is that you practice enough, you can learn to write with your left hand, I think.
Yes.
So that was the thing. And I know it drove my mom crazy for such a long time. I guess I could try to feel guilty about it now, but I think, when you get
it was also the only way you could learn. So the alternative was to not talk.
I guess I didn't. It took a long time for me to care about what other people think. That took a long time, and even then, it was only to it how it affected me. If a person didn't like me or not, it's like I didn't care unless it affected me directly. Like if people don't like me and they treat me bad, or they were mean, or they scare me, that's when I care. Other than that, I almost really didn't have an opinion. So I seemed for a long time like a selfish person when I was young, that kind of stuff, younger.
So it may have been hard for your mom, but it paid off in the end.
Yeah,
So now what kind of things are, with Nicolette, you must have really had a sense of, you must have had a sense of knowing what some things were to do to help her. And she's starting to think beyond yes and no. She is starting to string together some words sometimes.
Yeah. Well, I was very, very different with her.
Well, because you believe in her, for one thing.
Well, yeah. This is so. I talk to her all the time, which is part of, and because you forget you're there, it's not so. It's not even so much as people forgetting you're there when they talk around you. You end up forgetting you're there. You are listening to them, but you forget you're there. So you're
never included either.
Yeah. So not only are you become disconnected, you're not only that, it's like if you're not disconnected from the environment, you're disconnected from yourself. So it's like you're either engrossed in yourself or you're engrossed in what's going on around you, but you forgot where you're at, you know, or that, and you don't even realize what you're doing, you know, and that kind of stuff. So with the dolphin, I always acknowledge her and I talk to her, because including her, and sometimes, in fact, everybody else is invisible and I just talk to her. And you know, I hate this sometimes because I'm talking to her down the street even today, and people are looking at me like you could tell because they get all quiet or they whisper and they think you can't hear them or something. They said there's some sort of like conference over there. You know, they hear them whisper. You know, they're saying something like not so nice or that kind of thing. Or, you know, even I've had that where people outright say, "Who are you talking to?" I'm like my kid is here. Hello, you know. It's the stupidity of people. But if I keep talking to her, I feel like she knows where she's at. She's not just getting engrossed in the conversation above her or whatever. You know, it's like the spotlight's on her. So she's like, okay, she's talking to me and I must be here, you know, that kind of stuff. So I feel like she will talk someday too, even if she has like more what seems to be motor difficulties or that kind of thing, because she is more aware of her body and where she's at in the environment. And even if she's not like technically she's still nonverbal, but you can see she has other adapting ways of communicating. Like she knows where she's at. I mean, she'll go up to someone and nudge them and make them acknowledge her, because I even tell her this. Like, she's not just floating around. She won't leave until you turn around and acknowledge her. So I think you've seen this when you see her, when she goes up to a person and she just stands there until they look up at her and acknowledge. She won't leave until they say hello. That kind of thing. And this is where, you know, I say this is how you tell you are where you're at. So she knows where she's at. And she's not like invisible, like, you know, she floats like every other autistic person floats.
Yeah, you were talking about, you said something about how autistic people greet one another.
They float around each other. You see them, you see us circling around each other, or that's like saying hello. The best way we know how, where it's not so invasive or frightening or direct, or, you know, you kind of, it's a weird way, and it's subtle. Like Holly and Kelly, like Kelly bumped in, like she circled the dolphin and then she touched her hand for a little bit before she moved on. Little things like that people don't notice, but I always notice this.
And what about, so one thing, for one of the most important foundations is not being invisible and having a sense of self, and having a sense of actually being somewhere instead of just sort of floating or not existing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I could do, I lose myself a lot, you know. I mean, I do disconnect from myself and I do disassociate, you know. I could do that in my environment, I could do that with myself at given times and stuff, but I do kind of focus back when I need, like if I have a goal, like I'm going, you know, that kind of thing. But like with the dolphin, like she's doing good.
Now, what else do you try to do to help her besides being present? Because like I said, like earlier today, we both heard her say, "I love you," and
Yeah.
I've heard her very clearly say yes. And other people who have been here, like Rosa, have said that they have heard her talking.
I
so-
encourage her, and she imitates too.
And you practice do you practice every day with speech?
Yes.
So
Because
she's
if
seen
I
you do
don't,
that?
I forget. Honestly, if I go 2 weeks without talking,
How would you go for 2 weeks without talking? I can't imagine that. So how would you do that? It's just in your nature?
sometimes I could do that. I mean, dog grooming, they drop off dogs. I could groom dogs all day and I won't say a word. Sometimes it's like quiet time. I mean, I don't do it too often because to get back on the saddle per se, all of a sudden, I've done that and then I stumble along and then I get scared because I don't want to forget how to talk again. You know, it's like a fear almost.
So what would be some of the things you do to help keep yourself in shape with talking?
I talk to the dolphin. Sometimes if I talk to nobody else, I still talk to the dolphin.
Mm-hmm.
And then there are times she's the only one I talk to.
And what about the things that you do to practice? Like when you were saying you observe people, do you observe them also on television? Do you practice in the mirror every day?
Yeah. I'm doing the movements too. Like no, and like let's like how they talk and smile, like do you have like this, like.
And why are you, you're doing that because that's something that you need to get from outside yourself to be able to do, or what?
Is he sleeping in the bed with 3 women? He is.
It's Hugh Hefner.
Who's he?
There's a magazine called Playboy,
Oh.
and he's the owner of it. And so he always has a lot of girlfriends to
he
show
was
up.
like this. Yeah, like that. He would, you know how, because people talk that way, like.
What way are you talking, and what way do you think they are talking?
They talk with their bodies too. People talk with their bodies too, not just their mouths. Like.
So this is a way to help learn how people are talking with their body and not just their mouth.
Yeah. I don't know. They just do it, and I know I'm not doing it too well yet, so I want to do it. I don't know why. I just want to perfect it, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
You're never satisfied. I never been satisfied once I got to one point. No. I just want to keep doing. It's like a little kid. You learn how to crawl, and then you master it. Now you want to learn how to walk, and then you mastered it. Now you want to learn how to run, and now you want to learn how to ride a bike. I don't know how to do that yet. No. I'm afraid I'll die. That's why.
What is for you? Do you ever sing now?
Yes.
Is singing easier than talking, or the same, or different, or?
Singing is good.
Yeah.
That's when, like, you could make the words dance like people make words dance.
Mm-hmm.
I could say the same words, but it comes out flat some. My words don't dance. My words don't dance like people's words dance. Some, you know.
Like the other night you were having, was it when you were saying to Karen, say hello? Or you were having her say a word and then you were trying to get it exactly the same way?
Yes.
Because you were trying to get something about the
because
cadence?
because it doesn't sound the same, or like if somebody says it don't dance the same way, like, and if it doesn't dance the same way, then it won't have the same kind of meaning.
Mm-hmm.
That was, oh yeah, the words, like, check it out.
Yeah. Check it out. Check it out.
See that.
Check it out.
Those are the dancing words. I mean, that's when you make it dance. It means something. Because if you think about it, check what out or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Check what out. What does that mean anyway? I think it's just supposed to be the way people, like, you dance the words together. I'm going to put her on the bed now.
Okay, I'm going to just